Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Employees are disengaged in 70% of cases. 70. As a result, the majority of employees have they didn't quit their employment, instead, they stayed. There isn't much of a foundation for productivity drive. Don't you think so? However, the problem worsens since most leaders believe employees are motivated by one of three factors: perks, promotions, or pay, none of which are true. These items can help for a while, but only for a short time. However, they quickly become expectations with greater clout. To be honest, it's more to demotivate than anything else. People come to work, you see, to find purpose in their lives. In reality, 70% of us are looking for something more. We are more in search of purpose at work than we are in life. By the way, here's what I mean by meaning. It instills a higher sense of personal significance in work. As a result, labor becomes meaningful. Now look at this: when you have significance in your life, it affects how you interact with others. With your job, which has a significant impact on your life. The ultimate level of involvement is unlocked through meaning. The personal development that you are experiencing on the inside, this training will teach you how to encourage your employees in a way that will last for a long time. Through cultivating meaning, then you'll be fully engaged. Employees who are happy, as well as igniting the highest levels of achievement. So, thank you for coming along with me. As you set them up, I'm hoping your staff will appreciate you as well. I'm on my way to finding deep delight at work. Being a leader is one of the most powerful things you can do. Is to give employees a sense of purpose. To grasp why this is significant, consider the following. Keep the 3 Ps of meaning in mind. Performance is fueled by meaning. It does so by promoting discretionary spending of work and energy, which is crucial, on a long-term basis. In fact, research suggests that nothing makes a bigger difference to maintain a high level of performance than when a worker believes their employment is meaningful. Isn't that correct? Consider the following scenario. You have a personal investment in your work. Nothing works as well as a motivator. Personal growth is also fueled by meaning. When we perceive our work to be meaningful, we are more likely to stay with it. We're not just invested in it, but we're also passionate about it. We have a strong desire to learn and discover new things. This motivates us to study, grow, and improve. We can improve ourselves and become better versions of ourselves. This procedure is extremely significant in and of itself. As an example, the fact that you're currently watching this video, isn't it worthwhile to learn something new? Consider the influence of employees who feel the same way. Every day at work is an opportunity to learn and develop. Finally, perspective is provided by meaning. I used to work in the corporate sector, and when I'm at work and I'm feeling lost, the significance I got from my work provided me with something to come back to. A sense of purpose and accomplishment. It reminded me of why I was putting in so much effort. The big picture of what was really important. In addition, it reframed all of the setbacks and as temporary sidebars, the less nourishing aspects of my employment. Workplace meaning can do the same for you. As well as your workers. In each of the 3 P methods, our time's incentive is significance. Leaders who create meaning are the most effective. They give significance to their job and to their lives. Employees work in the environment in which they work. They accomplish it by cultivating 6 circumstances that I refer to as the meaning markers, which is always motivating staff and produce the best results and the most profound depths of fulfillment. Doing meaningful labor is the first indicator of meaning. You have the ability to influence how employees perceive their work. To give it greater significance, as an example, assist employees in defining 2 terms: the goal of their efforts as well as the legacy they hope to leave via their efforts. Those things, believe me, are significant. Marker 2 is being tested for consistency. This is when personnel are put to the test in ways that energize them personally and encourage individualized learning and development. Unfortunately, many leaders deprioritize the first thing they do are opportunities to learn. Instead, ensure that staff are given challenging assignments. Offering opportunities to learn and improve on a regular basis, feeling knowledgeable and self-assured is the third indicator. Employees are valued and appreciated. When leaders are deliberate, their efforts are important and worthwhile. It's all about making them feel good. Isn't that correct? Take the time to encourage others, for example. Gratitude and constructive criticism. 2/3 of employees believe they aren't paid enough. Any one of these, then there's being in charge and having a say in how things turn out. Nothing offers employees a better sense of power than a sense of control. When they are allowed autonomy, they do better. As well as the freedom to make decisions, it's a thrilling experience. Consider the inverse for a moment if you have any doubts. Being micromanaged is a bad thing. Isn't that heartbreaking? Giving autonomy is one method to do so. Is to come to an agreement with staff on goals. Allow them to decide how to best achieve that goal. Working in a caring setting is marker 5. When employees feel valued and cared for, they are more productive. It satisfies a basic human need. Consider the polar opposite. When no one actually cares about you, it's difficult to feel loved. You have a sense of meaninglessness. The polar opposite of significance. One easy but effective approach to demonstrate your concern is to inquire about the health of an employee, and pay attention to what they have to say. I mean, pay attention. Isn't that what compassionate human beings do? Feeling linked to others is the 6th indicator of significance. And self-assured in his leadership. Employees want to believe they're part of a winning team. Where they are committed to the mission and establish a connection with the leader, make it a point to engage with your company on a personal level. Also, keep in mind that no company has ever been more confident compared to its leader. As a result, come across as confident. Creating a sense of purpose is a great idea. It's difficult enough to lead a team or a whole organization. Getting staff to embrace it is a challenge in itself. And be inspired by that goal. But it's something you can definitely do by adhering to what I refer to as the purpose pyramid. A method for developing a powerfully inspiring goal. At the level of a firm or a team, hope everyone will support. There are 5 steps, which are abbreviated as DRIVE. Let's have a look at them. The first stage is to figure out what your team's goal is. And I say find rather than invent. Since it is most likely already in existence, ask your team to help you with this. Why does it behave the way it does? To put it another way, for what motivating, higher order purpose are you doing this? And inquire as to who the team serves. Consider the target audience for a team. And how to serve them is a fantastic source of ideas. With the purpose of creating a goal as a result of the responses to these questions, make a 1-sentence statement about your goal. By the way, you know it's a good one. If the distinction is unmistakable, you're ecstatic to make. For instance, one of the leadership teams with whom I collaborate is formulated this mission statement. Every project we work on improves. And every employee has a sense of power. Isn't that good? Next, be a role model and live your mission. Make actual judgments based on it. Will the activity that your team takes, for example, be effective? Is about to take every project to the next level. Employees will feel empowered as a result of your efforts. Is stated in the mission statement? If not, think about it. The purpose statement should serve as a reminder to your staff that prepare yourself for what it's fighting for. Now, assist team members in internalizing the mission. Here's how to do it. Request that each team member explain what they mean. How they believe their effort contributes to the team's goal. Assist them in making the connection. By expressing your own point of view, the truth is that if they don't make the link, they're doomed. The point is that it's only a sentence. A mural on a lobby wall, to be honest, that doesn't inspire anyone to do anything. Now that everyone has signed up, demonstrate that you appreciate conduct that embodies the goal. I'd frequently set up a fund that any team leader could use to pay out cash bonuses to staff on the spot when they saw them acting in accordance with their mission. Finally, spread the word about the goal. By enlisting the help of all staff, one of the companies with which I worked designed what they dubbed stations of gratitude. They were gift card vending machines. Things employees might be able to provide to one another when detecting supportive conduct with a purpose. Isn't it pretty cool? So start to work on your pyramid and hone in on that goal to each and every soon-to-be inspiring employee. What motivates you to work? Money is undoubtedly a motivator for the majority of people. What, on the other hand, is your higher-order goal? The answer to this question instills in you a sense of purpose. This makes your employment more meaningful and motivating. Assisting employees in defining their job purpose. One of the most valuable things you can give children is your time. What's more, guess what? You can do so by introducing them to what I refer to as questions about the power of purpose, a series of self-reflective questions that can assist in determining one's professional purpose. As well as in life, I'll give you 3 of the most popular, effective questions about purpose power. To get some practice, answer these questions for yourself first. Then distribute them to your employees. What are your superpowers, first and foremost? What, after all, do you excel at? Strengths that you may use to help others. As if you were a superhero. Our innate abilities have been transformed into gifts. Give us hints on how to channel our energy most efficiently to make a significant difference in anything else, and bigger than we are. It's all about accepting your own calling. And was created to help others. What are your values and beliefs? The next question. Consider what is most important to you. And isn't willing to make concessions. Making a conscious effort to stay true to yourself, to your most cherished, non-negotiable principles and beliefs is a huge source of motivation. Kindness, for example, is one of my basic values. Spreading charity gives me immense meaning and purpose. I'll do my best, particularly in hostile work contexts. The final issue is, what deed is required? To put it another way, what issue needs to be resolved? Alternatively, what does the world require more of? That you're the right person for the job. What's more, guess what? It doesn't have to be a brand new need in the world. A purpose does not have to be one of a kind. It only has to be unique to you. You could also consider your work to be a cause. What exactly is your cause? My goal is to assist others in becoming better versions of themselves. So, ask yourself these 3 questions about purpose power. All of these options may be able to supply you with the solution you've been looking for. To achieve a sense of accomplishment, what will be your professional legacy? And how are you going to make it? Knowing gives you something to strive for. It is deeply motivating to have a sense of significance. With this video, you can download a set of questions to assist you or your staff in expressing a desired legacy. Let's concentrate on how you can leave a legacy for the time being. And you may do that in 5 different ways, which I refer to as the legacy's 5 footprints. The first mark is long-term results. You have big goals in mind, and you want to achieve them. Invest in, see it through to completion, and finally in 5 to 10 years, you'll be able to look back and say, hey, I was the one who did it. That would not have happened if it hadn't been for me. As a result, determine what results are worthy of leaving a legacy. Then assist staff in achieving it. The next footprint is knowledge transfer. This occurs when you or your staff make a mistake. To mentoring others and sharing your knowledge to assist others in their development. For example, following large meetings, I took time to share things they did successfully with workers. Every time, I could have done a better job. My influence continues on in this way, albeit in a minor one. The next step is to transfer values. Values are the small things we perform on a daily basis. Daily tiny impacts that exemplify who we are, that leave a long-lasting impression. Role modeling your values on a regular basis pays off. A lasting legacy, for instance, one of my goals is to leave a legacy. Arises from a deep desire to make people feel important, which I attempt to exemplify on a regular basis. The next footprint is the impact on relationships and lifestyles. Putting money into relationships that are important to us, in the end, it will matter. We continue to exist because of those connections, but we are prevented from investing in them by a plethora of distractions. Please place those connections on a pedestal, where they have a place. And you have no idea how much this affects people's lives. People don't remember what we did because of what we did. Not for ourselves, at least. They remember us because of the things we accomplished for them. Do you want to leave a lasting impression? Try leading a life that is dedicated to helping others. Living your tale is the final imprint. We're all made up of stories, after all. Before the end, what will people say about you? Making a conscious effort to live the story you'd want the story of your life told about you. And that's a significant legacy. For example, I'd like to hear stories about how I influenced others. It is easier for me to operate in this manner if I keep this in mind. 5 footprints, all of which are significant moves taken by you or your workers, might help you leave a lasting impression. Take a look at this. 60% of employees are satisfied with their jobs. Links to no relevant purpose or objective. It's just pointless. This type of labor has a habit of finding its way onto our to-do lists. And they're piling up, slowing us down and exhausting us. Enough with our occupation's meaning and drive. You can pave the way for more fulfilling job. For both yourself and your workers, using a color-coded work plan, as I like to call it. Take a step back and look at the entire portfolio. What kind of job your workers do, and how they spend their time. In other words, it's their turn. Then classify the work into one of 3 categories: red, green, or gold are all options. Red work is low-value work that must be eliminated. It has no actual purpose, it doesn't help anyone progress, and it's a waste of time. This merely depletes the job's sense of purpose. The most popular 3 forms of red work are: first, there's labor that no longer has to be done. It's a hangover from a previous system or way of doing things. To be honest, it's no longer essential. Second, the person is doing job that he or she isn't best suited for, but continues to do so out of a sense of commitment or because he or she struggles with delegation. Finally, it's possible that the employee is being forced to do labor with little regard for the fact that they are currently, to be honest, I merely do it out of habit. So, first and foremost, identify the red and make a commitment to reducing it. Determine the green work, which is the most important aspect of the employee's employment. It's the work that satisfies the company's requirements, has a set of clear and relevant deliverables, and that makes use of the employee's assets or promotes their development. By the way, green work fits the PIE concept as well. It should allow the individual to demonstrate their abilities, enhance their image, or assist them in gaining attention. The pinnacle is gold work. These are the projects on which personnel are now working, of such importance that they will contribute to the legacy that those employees hope to leave by means of their work. If the employee has projects that are worthy of being remembered about, what's more, it's fantastic. If not, it's time to rethink your priorities and start working on such tasks. Or at the very least, incorporate components of their job plan. More invigorating and or transformative. When I made the decision to do more gold, it was work that changed my relationship and left a lasting impression. For the best in my job. For me, it sparked a deeper feeling of motivation and meaning by means of my work. As a result, reduce the red and identify and keep the green. And make a play for the gold. Have you ever been at work and thought to yourself, Is it possible that I'm wasting my time here? This happens when you believe you've reached the end of your educational journey. And developing into a better version of oneself, it depletes your job's essential feeling of meaning. Leaders can prevent this from happening in their workplace. Using what I refer to as the learning ladder, there are 5 steps you can take. To create a learning environment rapidly, let's get this party started. To begin, provide learning opportunities. For the sake of your organization. The most important leading indicator that an organization will be rated as having a lot of meaning employees are happy and fulfilled is whether the organization's leaders are capable. Demonstrate a constant belief in the importance of education. Schedule opportunities on a regular basis, for example, to encourage staff to learn, attending industry conferences or a lunch and learn session, for example. Then, fight the urge to call off such events. In response to the current crisis, attend the educational events personally. Making daily learning a priority is the next step. Take the time to provide feedback to an employee, for example. Once they have made a presentation, spend the time necessary to share information to which you have access, or whenever you make a choice, describe why you've made that decision and how it connects to key strategy and objectives. Now that you've reached the 3rd rung, you complete an extensive learning portfolio for your staff. By creating personalized learning strategies, assist the employee in answering 3 questions. First and foremost, what could you learn to improve your job performance? Second, what are the skills you'll need to enhance your career? Finally, what do you want to learn? That's just something you're interested in general. The objective is to collaborate with an employee on a project. A personalized learning strategy that will significantly increase the meaning they derive from their work. Does that make sense? The following step on the ladder is straightforward. In order to take advantage of any learning opportunity, make that opportunity more relevant and valuable for employees, it is very clear. The importance of adult learning must be evident and is related to their own self-interest. Last but not least, and most importantly, patience and sensitivity for the learning process are essential. And a willingness to learn from mistakes and failures. You can help others grow if you encourage them to do so. Experiment, learn, and take chances, but if they fail, you thrash them. People will cease to take risks, as well as seizing opportunities to learn something new. As a result, raise that educational ladder. Let's get the growing started. 50% of employees who are competent but not exceptional, they do so because they have no idea what fantastic looks like. Here's a fantastic tool that can help you do just that. As well as assisting employees in comprehending the distinction between just good and absolutely outstanding performance, this creates a strong sense of competence. The grid is known as the good to great grid. This is how it goes. 3 skills can be found on the left side of the grid. Leadership, risk-taking, and prioritization are all skills that can be learned. These are some instances of skills you might come across. Crucial in your organization. The goal is to use this grid to make discussion easier with your team on what constitutes good and great for every one of these abilities. Then they write down detailed definitions on paper. In the excellent and nice column, you should be aware that this movie allows you to download a real-life scenario. I worked on a good to great grid with a group across a slew of other performance metrics than what you see on this page. Look at the role labeled priority setting for the time being. Here's an example of a real-life conversation I had. I was in charge of a team. We came up with a consensus on what constitutes excellent prioritization. Trash compactor management is what we named it. Of course, a trash compactor compresses rubbish into a cube of a modest size. If you can do that with your work, it's fantastic. Prioritize your workload in a ruthless manner. It's a good idea to concentrate on only a few crucial points. Many people find it difficult to just say no. And, to be honest, making priority calls. Then we define excellent prioritization. That was dubbed Accordion Management. Of course, the accordion is a musical instrument that you play by enlarging and contracting it on a regular basis. If you think you'll be able to achieve it with your current workload, go for it. Expanding and contracting the workload on a regular basis. Reprioritize and increase the amount of high-value tasks by removing low-value work. When it comes to surges, you know what I'm talking about. Put in extra hours and then take it easy to recover. That's a terrific way to set priorities. It doesn't matter if you agree right now. With the use of these specific definitions, it's all about making use of this tool to have conversations, so that you can describe the difference with your team as you see it. There's a difference between excellent and great. This activity not only clarifies expectations, but it also improves communication. It promotes both business and personal development. Employees gain a clear understanding of what great looks like. For each of the characteristics you mention, then you may talk about what you need to do to get to great. Perhaps it's a lack of training or a larger budget, or another specialized resource. Employees will quickly progress from good to great. 93% of the 3,000 managers I polled agreed. In the last 6 months, he said, they had an experience at work that shattered their self-assurance. They began to mistrust themselves as a result of this, even if only for a short time. Today's workforce is experiencing a confidence crisis. It's robbing us of our sense of purpose. Employees get pleasure from their jobs. It doesn't have to be that way, though. One motto and one rule can be taught to your workforce. Help bolster their self-esteem and re-energize their sense of accomplishment. The mantra comes first. Encourage your workers to aim for honesty rather than approval. This entails ceasing to concentrate on winning other people's approval, then begin to work on becoming a better version of yourself. When you're looking for approval, you're looking for approval from others. At best, it's an elusive, empty win. At worst, it can be demoralizing to one's self-esteem and confidence. When you're looking for genuineness, you put your emphasis on leading a life that is consistent with your principles, with a genuine sense of self and living up to your own, not someone else's, standards. You're well aware that the only comparison that matters is this one. Is a reference to who you were yesterday and whether or not you're evolving into a more refined version of yourself. So, if you want to enhance your self-esteem, instead of seeking acceptance, aim for authenticity. Now, let's look at the rule. The 90/10 rule, as I like to call it. A ratio is represented by the digits 90 and 10. It's a straightforward formula for figuring out how much you're worth. To put it another way, it should be founded on 90% self-worth. 10% of the value is assigned. 90% of how you feel about yourself should flow naturally from your own acceptance and respect of yourself. Only 10% comes from external approval or value assigned. Purists may now object to a 10% allocation for external validation, says the author. Hey, what matters is what you think of yourself, right? However, I am a realist. I've grown entirely numb to the rare signal. It's absurd to believe that you're cherished and adored. However, we run into problems when that 10% is exceeded, starting to creep up on you. When we put too much emphasis on winning affection, we run into difficulty. Then the gift of love, that's something worth repeating. When we put greater emphasis on winning love, our confidence suffers. Then the gift of love, as a result, treat that 10% as such. Every now and then, a little external affirmation is nice. Return your attention to the other 90%, your self-worth. There is only one mantra. There is only one rule. There is only one life. Make it a self-assured statement. If you enjoy being micromanaged, raise your hand. There aren't likely to be any takers. Despite this, we know that 40% of employees claim their supervisor supervises them to a degree. Consider the polar opposite for a moment. When you have the liberty and freedom to accomplish a goal, it's extremely meaningful and motivating, as you see fit. You can help your staff develop these feelings by offering intelligent autonomy, as I call it. As you can see, providing autonomy has a negative side. It's possible to make a mistake unintentionally. Have you ever had a manager advise you to go ahead and do something? You're going to be fine. So, what happens next? They swoop back in at the first sight of difficulty. It's not good to fix things on the side. This is simply one method of enforcing the law. Of providing autonomy is incorrect. To be honest, it takes effort to give work away. To allow for intelligent autonomy. The most common technique to do so is to reach an agreement. For the establishment of autonomy, the agreement, whether it's in the form of a contract or a conversation, explains out in 3 parts: the operational rules and the handover of power. Construction, consideration, and consultation are all steps in the process. Construction is the process of creating a set of expectations. For the work related with the delegated autonomy, get clear about the objectives, goals, and scope, for example. And the work to be delegated success criteria. The empowered must also show consideration. A special consideration for the delegator, keeping him or her informed, for example. As an example, you may have given your team autonomy to fulfill certain goals. A significant goal as they deem suitable, they should still keep you updated on the situation. The strategies used in order for you to be more capable to respond to questions from higher up in the line of command and, if required, to back up their decisions. Consultation, the final component, identifies decisions that necessitate your personal consultation returning to that crucial goal. For example, you gave your team autonomy. You could specify that you must be consulted if, for example, in order to achieve that goal, the team believes they must go over budget. While the team has autonomy, there are times when it is necessary to delegate authority. It necessitates that they first consult with you. Be bold in granting autonomy widely as a leader. However, you should continue to use the consultation method. If your input is truly required, please do so. As a result of the Autonomy Pact, the ability to empower others is now in your hands. When it comes to monetary compensation, guess what? Recognizing employees is one of them. They aren't as motivated by the reward as they are by the prize itself. It's all about the significance of the prize. Employees seek meaning rather than goods. It's important to think about how you'll give out awards and acknowledgements. If you want your name to be remembered, my guiding principles are as follows. To begin, personalize so that you do not trivialize. A one-size-fits-all approach to recognition and rewards can make them feel as if they aren't valued. They act as if they aren't being praised or acknowledged at all. As a result, take the time to comprehend how each employee wants to be acknowledged as well as what makes them feel important. Inquire of them, how do you prefer to be recognized? For instance, do you want to do it formally or informally? Do you want to do it privately or publicly? Do you prefer to work alone or in a group? Also, what shape would you prefer your award to take? It could be words of gratitude, for example. Increased accountability. A chance to show off your hard work, or a get-together to commemorate a special occasion. You get my drift. Then, persuade everyone else to join in on the fun. Don't be the only one who praises and acknowledges. Employees should be encouraged to recognize and reward one another. Simply making simple recognition resources available such as thank you notes or a budget for gift card distribution. It's important to remember, however, that it's all about the opportunity to express gratitude through words and gestures. It's more about the gift card than it is about the gift card itself. Recognize that employees want to be noticed by their peers. Incredibly significant third, be regular but not excessive. Give prizes and recognition on a regular basis, but make them meaningful. Make it clear what will be awarded, such as leadership, risk-taking, and teamwork, to name a few. It's time to congratulate yourself on achieving your huge end goals. in addition to lesser milestone accomplishments achieved along the route to the big finish line. But keep in mind to stay focused on rewarding the outcome rather than the activity. That way, it has a lot more meaning for the employees. Finally, and most importantly, be intentional in your delivery. How do you provide staff awards and recognition? Can make a successful landing or a disastrous touchdown. Don't suffocate the intention. Consider how you'll communicate your message with care. Sincerity, for example, is crucial. It sticks in the mind if it comes from the heart. Be clear about what you're appreciating, as well. Always be on time by praising and acknowledging your employees soon after a commendable outcome was obtained. So keep that in mind at all times. It is also an opportunity to invigorate when you reward and honor others. Do you have a genuine connection with your employees? I mean, I understand you have clout. Do you, on the other hand, wield personal power? Feeling linked has a lot of value for people to their leader, and having the feeling of being that leader is transporting them to a location that they truly wish to visit. Much of this happens, or does not happen, as a result of a leader's messaging. Maya Angelou, a poet, I believe, best stated the key. When she said, "I'm making a message," she meant I'm making it possible that people will forget what you did or said. However, they'll never forget how you made them feel. It's crucial to make employees feel valued. In your communications, you're saying the appropriate things. Here are 5 questions you can ask to do this. First, consider whether your communication will be effective. Create commitment or compliance. For instance, when you demonstrate weakness, you'll acquire commitment if you present a compelling vision or both. Without them, compliance is merely compliance. Next, consider whether my communication will engender trust. You, the leader, must have faith in yourself and your plans. The idea is to project self-assurance. An organization's leader is never more confident. Do not do so by claiming to know all the answers, but by expressing proposals with zeal and conviction and admitting you don't know what you don't know. Any blunders you've made along the road draw a realistic representation of the situation. However, give people optimism and reasons to work. To have faith in the future, ask yourself, will my communication create certainty? As a third inquiry, have you ever received a message from a leader that was jumbled, confused, or ambiguous? To be honest, it's difficult to deduce any significance from that. So, in your messaging, be decisive and succinct. And you're certain of what you're saying, that's exactly what you're going to do. You can accomplish this by going over your messages again, via the perspective of the desired audience in advance. Next, consider whether my communication will help to establish community. Make use of us, I am not one of them. Showcase what you've accomplished together. It's not simply about shortages. Encourage a sense of, hey, we're all in this together attitude. Considering the words you select and the examples you provide draw attention to upcoming difficulty, as well as how teamwork shares the work. The effect is multiplied. Finally, consider whether my communication will be emotionally effective. Connect workers to their jobs. Make an emotional connection with them as well as a rational one. As an example, assist students in comprehending how their work relates to others, to a long-term goal that has been universally agreed upon and regarded as significant. In your messaging, extol the virtues of your personnel for the work they've done and explain why it's important to them. Tell stories about the team's bright spots. It's all about the meaning. It is the driving force of our generation. And now, as a result of this cause, you've got what it takes to be a leader who makes a difference. It's only a matter of time before you achieve peak performance and fulfillment. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.